So you may have seen this diet online. I've seen it everywhere and people talking about it. The carnivore diet. This is a diet where you basically eat nothing but meat. No vegetables, no fruits. It's basically a meat-based diet. And people who support this say it can cure everything. Depression, anxiety, joint issues, and even your stomach pain as well. It's basically an extreme keto diet where you eat meat but nothing else. Oh my goodness, this would give me so much heartburn, and it will for you. In today's video, I'll give you the lowdown on the carnivore diet. Do I, as a GI doctor, recommend it? Is it crazy, or is there actually science behind this? We'll do a deep dive on this diet in today's video. I get so frustrated by these so-called health gurus that try to give you information that has no evidence and no science to it. I can tell you the carnivore diet falls in this category. I am a GI trained gastroenterologist. I train at the Mayo Clinic. I've been doing research on diet and gut issues for over 10 years. And it's so frustrating for me when I have these so-called health gurus who have no credentials whatsoever try to tout a diet that actually is not good for you. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you my review and debunk some of the health facts when it comes to the carnivore diet. And at the very end of the video, I'll give you my recommendation on whether you should consider this diet for your gut issues. Howdy y'all, Dr. Islam here. I'm a board certified gastroenterologist for over 10 years of experience. I've treated thousands of patients. I published numerous papers, and I'm a board certified gastroenterologist trained at the Mayo Clinic. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, consider subscribing to my channel. So let's go over some of the things I want you to know about the carnivore diet. Number one, there is actually no scientific evidence to do this diet. Let's just get that straight off. There is no evidence that having a diet that is pretty much all meat, all carnivore foods, is good for you. There's not. Because I'll tell you, if there was evidence there, I'll be the first one to tell you about this. I research this every single day. My life is GI. I know it's so depressing sometimes. I'm a loser, but that's okay because I love reading scientific literature and information. Let me tell you, there is no scientific benefit at all with the carnivore diet. In fact, the opposite is true. There's so much evidence that a plant-based diet is the best thing for you. We know that plants and vegetables will give you the antioxidants, the vitamins, the nutrients to allow you to live your best life. But not only that, the plants actually give you the best prebiotics and probiotics to change your gut microbiome. The evidence is clear on studies after studies after studies. And guess what doesn't have that evidence? The carnivore diet. There's literally no evidence out there that supports the carnivore diet as a consistent diet to improve your gut microbiome and to improve your health as well. In fact, if there are studies that are out there, they're small sample sizes and they're in pretty bad journals. Journals no one would want to read. And that's the importance of looking at studies, because not only do you have to look at the quality of the study, but where is the study published at? I can publish some random study on the benefits of eating your poo. I'm sure I can, but I can tell you that's not going to be accepted in a standard high journal in which all the GI doctors and scientists read and acknowledge as the standard of care. There are plenty of people who will tell you, hey, it worked for me. And there are plenty of health gurus that will tell you the carnivore diet worked for me. And absolutely, there is evidence for what's called anecdotal evidence in which it works for you or another individual. But guess what? There is no scientific evidence for that. Because I can tell you, hey, guess what? Drinking Perrier water helps me with my gut microbiome. It worked for me. But you know what? There is no evidence for that. And so just because it works for you does not mean it is the right thing for you either. There's a big difference between anecdotal evidence, what works for one individual person, and what works based on scientific evidence and literature and research and medicine and information that we actually know is true. Don't fall prey to those people who are giving you some information that's not based on actual science, because it can actually cause harm to you, which we'll talk about later on in the video. Now, a misconception about the carnivore diet that a lot of people who are pro-carnivore diet are going to tell you is that the plants that you have chemicals that are bad for you. They say that plants have evolved to form harmful chemicals that are going to destroy your gut and make you feel terrible. Well, guess what? Once again, There is no evidence for this. In fact, when you look at the evidence, a lot of the chemicals that plants make for us are good for us. They act as a synergistic way to improve our health and to improve our gut microbiome. They have the antioxidants, the vitamins, and the minerals to get you feeling better and to change what's going on the inside. A great example is phytoalexins, which are only found in plants, and these are used to fight microbes. But they also have potent medicinal use, including anti-cancer uses and neuroprotective properties. In addition, there are thousands of nutrients in plants that you would miss if you did not eat them. Once again, the vitamins, the minerals, the prebiotics, the probiotics, the fiber, these things are good for you, and they are nature's way to give you the substances that you need to improve your health. Now, it's true, you can absolutely live off of meat alone, but we are not here to live, we are here to live healthy. It's always that balance of making sure you have the proper meats in a limited form with an abundance of plants. And then number 3, think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. We were not made to just eat meats. Thousands of years ago, eons ago, guess what? When we were off on the Saharas, you were hunting, our predominant food was not meat. It was plants and vegetables. And for eons, yes, eons, this is how we adapted and this is how we ate. So our body through evolution got to the point where we were having basically a plant predominant diet. It wasn't until recently in which we got a whole abundance of meat that we started shifting our eating patterns to make it more meat based. So our bodies from an evolutionary standpoint has been focused on more of a plant-based diet than anything else that's out there. Just look at our mouths. We don't have sharp teeth pretty much everywhere. We have a couple of sharp teeth and that's it. If we were made from an evolutionary standpoint to eat meat, guess what? Or eat meat all the time, guess what? All of our teeth will be razor edge. We'll be chomping down that meat and getting it into our bodies. Another common argument is that this is what our ancestors eat. And guess what? That is flat out wrong. I can guarantee you, like me, back, thousands of years ago, I was not just eating meat because we couldn't find meat. Meat was a delicacy. You took days to hunt down meat. And so our primary foods were grains, were vegetables, were plants. This is not the way our ancestors ate. Just think about it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Our ancestors ate whatever they could find, whether it was meat, whether it was fruits, whether it was grains, whether it was insects. We did not grow up eating meat. Our ancestors didn't grow up eating meat. There was no way we could. It took days, no, weeks, maybe even months to find one freaking elephant or meat. So there's no way we ate meat on a daily basis. And just because they ate that way thousands of years ago does not mean in 2024, with modern medicine, with plumbing, with everything that we have, that we should eat that way. Why do I want to eat like an ancestor? I don't want to do that. I have a fork. I have a knife. I have a spoon. I have a plate. I like to wash my hands. I like to take a shower. I don't want to eat like my ancestor. Why do you? Number 4, eating a carnivore diet means that you're eating meats that is full of fats, trans fats, steroids, hormones. All this has been shown to increase your risk for pretty much every single disease. If you want to increase your risk for developing heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, lung problems, kidney problems, GI issues, let me tell you, the best thing you can do to increase your risk is to have a diet that's predominant in meats. 100%, this will kill you. And there's evidence to suggest this. Now, I know once again, there may be anecdotal evidence that for some individuals, they ate meat and they lived a long time. But when you look at the whole global span of human civilization and those that live the longest, it is not based on a meat-based diet. It is predominantly based on a plant-based diet. This is what are called the blue zones. The blue zones are the type of diets in these areas in which people live up to at least 100 years old. And guess what diet they had? Diets are high in plants, seeds, nuts, oils, more of a Mediterranean type diet. Not only that, but eating lots of fat is going to give you a lot of heartburn, a lot of bloating, and it's going to make your poo really, really bad. You don't want bad poo? I know you don't. Number 5, this diet lacks fiber. Out of all the things you can do to improve your health from a GI perspective, fiber is the backbone for health. The more fiber that you have, the better it's going to be to build everything else on that. I always tell my patients, without that fiber, without that foundation, everything else you build on top of that is not going to stay. Fiber is the foundation for health. It's the foundation for gut health. And being on a carnivore diet, guess what? You're basically eliminating all the fiber in your diet, which means the foundation of your body is going to be broken. Why are people even promoting this diet? You have to understand the underlying motivation of what they're trying to do. Are they trying to sell a book? Are they trying to sell you a product? Are they trying to sell you a way of life in which they're getting a benefit from? This is what all these snake oilsman people do. They try to sell you something, try to scare you into changing what you are doing, and try to give you a cure in which you have to pay for. And it's sexy to be different. Oh yeah, if all the evidence is telling you to take a plant-based diet, it gets you more views, more reach, more social media power if you do something or say something that's completely opposite of what the traditional evidence says. Be careful of anyone who is trying to sell you on a diet or something in which they get a benefit for. There are a lot of people out there that are promoting this diet because they may be able to give you a particular course or a particular supplement or sell you something because they get a secondary gain from that. Always be careful of somebody, especially if they're telling you something that's a little controversial or different, and finding out what that gain may be for them. And for the vast majority of people that are promoting a carnivore diet, they have a book to sell, they have a supplement to sell, they have some sort of whatever to sell you, and they're going to try and do that and scare you into buying whatever they want you to buy. Don't fall victim for that, because there's no clear evidence that being on this diet is good for you, nor do you need to be on this diet to have a much healthier gut microbiome and a healthier life. All right. Maybe I've been a little bit rough on the carnivore diet. There are some positive things that I want you to take away as well. Number one, eliminating junk food is good for you. Okay, we know this, at least on the carnivore diet. By focusing so much on meat, you eliminate some of the bad foods that are not good for you. And this is probably the reason why people feel so good on this diet. Is not because of your focusing on eating meat, but you're getting rid of all the other foods you should not be eating. So instead of having donuts or big carbohydrates or a lot of processed foods, you're eliminating all those foods and you're focusing just on the meats. But guess what? You don't have to focus on the meats to get the same benefits. If you eliminate some of those bad foods, you're gonna get the benefit as well. In addition, because you're having meats, you're eating foods that have a lot of fat, which make you feel fuller longer and more often, which is gonna make you to lose weight. So a lot of people who are on the carnivore diet actually do lose weight, not because they're eating foods that make them lose weight, but they're not eating as much calories because they're not eating as much food in their particular body. That meat takes up room. Because the meat takes up so much room, you're not eating as much food. So here's the thing. I am not a fan of the carnivore diet. Absolutely I'm not. But there are things I want you to know. You don't have to go to extremes when it comes to diet. Don't try and victimize one type of food to make yourself feel better. Have moderation. Have a little bit of meat, but have that with a lot of fruits and vegetables on top of that. Every single study that's out there when it comes to diet and your health does promote more of a plant-based diet. So incorporate more plants into your diet to make yourself feel better. Eliminate processed foods. Get rid of the bad carbohydrates. Add in more natural foods, whole foods, that are good for your gut and your gut microbiome as well. You don't need to go to extremes to feel healthy and to be healthy. Hey, it's Dr. Islam. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to come see us at Lubbock Gastro for all your GI needs.